This week in Destiny, there is more going on. Like Bungie mentioned, they were doing the armor tuning preview before this week in Destiny, and that has followed not far after I had finished the first video. Now going on into the topics, there's lots of different ones, but most of them are short, one that is a bit long. So they showed the first Vidoc, and of course the second Vidoc will be showing. If you don't know what they are, think of it like a little behind the scenes look at developing the upcoming DLC. Bungie has made many Vidocs in the past. I personally haven't watched this just yet, but it's usually good cinematic watching in case you care about behind the scenes or just the cinematics. As well, there is the end of season cutscene for those who have not seen it or have not seen it off of my video if you want to see the entire mission, dialogue, and happenings. Then as well, there is Twitch Rivals going on, which I guess is something you can do more watching to earn Twitch emblems. Then with Into the Lights, there is, of course, boosted drop rates for Trophies of Bravery and the Brave Weapons. I guess this is supposed to remain until Final Shape to help people get access to their shiny rolls on Into the Lights weaponry. Although, personally, I've already kind of abandoned the idea of the shiny, because sure, they might look cool, but at the same time, they kind of ruin any shader. But moving on from that, abilities and armor tuning, of course, there is the abilities from yesterday and the armor tuning from earlier today. At time of recording, there is the respective articles. If you want to watch a more streamlined or reviewed, of course, I have a video covering both of them if you wish to watch more on that. Then Pathfinder, this is the chunk of this week in Destiny. So think of this as a new grind for your ritual activities as well as a variety of other things. Typically when it came to your regional areas, you had vendors who would give you a reputation and rank up that would steadily give you rewards. But for both destinations and ritual activities, they are kind of reworking that. Pathfinder is a brand new pursuit system introducing in Destiny 2 that consolidates bounties, patrols, and weekly vendor challenges into one streamlined section you can access anytime, anywhere via the Director. Different Pathfinders can be accessed from relevant screens of the Director by selecting the Pathfinder node or by using a hotkey for quick, easy access to the system. Currently, there will be one that is for the Pale Heart in the destination itself for the upcoming DLC, as well as the general ritual-based one. For now, think of it like artifacts, but for bounties. You will have the same Pathfinder tree that will have up to 20 options, all cascading from the first 6 choices to the next 5 choices to the next 4, 3, and 2, which I guess will be typically the hardest of all of them. From there, though, as well, there is, of course, a reset. Once you claim the loot, you can reclaim it and then go over it again and redo Pathfinder. But they actually do mention there is going to be diminishing returns. However, the diminished returns will reset every Tuesday on reset. So this is supposed to be a sort of individual, like, week-by-week grind, not a season grind. So you can go through, do the Pathfinders as many times as you want with the steadily decreasing loot. As soon as you get the loot that you no longer want, you can just wait for it until next Tuesday and start grinding it out again. From that point, they did mention that people will have the same thing to start out with, but from that point will branch off into random objective encounters. So don't expect anyone to actually have a guide that can help you aside from just the first one. Then they also mentioned that there is, of course, variety in activities. The ritual activities will include things like Vanguard Strikes, Nightfalls, Onslaught, Gambit, and Crucible. Some of the objectives can be found in any of these activities, while other will require specific ritual modes. And a later update in the season of the year of the Final Shape make it easier to get to these ritual screens when you are in the activities as well, to make them easier to access the rituals Pathfinder. Now, why is pretty much they just wanted to consolidate a lot of things. The 4 points I mentioned out: consolidation, more agency, improving the amount of bounties. The third goal was making decisions matter a bit more, so these, while they give you experience, they of course will have to cascade into a variety of different things. Like, let's say this was all raids. If you didn't want to do any of the raids, you can go down this way, which this was all Crucible, and the same thing. But at the same time, the fourth goal was to reduce barriers, because I guess it's easier to go to because as example, they basically talk about how most of our time is spending traveling, flying to the tower, to the helm, to Europa to pick up all the bounties, while of course you could be playing. With Pathfinder, you already have your objectives, and then you always progress as you play, whether they are locked or unlocked, so there's no need to visit a vendor or use the Destiny app to grab bounties, no need to balance your inventory of quests or bounties. Now, Destination Pathfinder, this is going to be individual. The objective rewards, well, let's see, going about it, because I imagine you can complete everything. The objective reward will be 25 vendor rep and 4,000 XP. Path completion across the first will be a redacted exotic. Powerful tier 3 engram in the Pale Heart, 1 rank of reputation vendor rank. Then, let's see, the second path will, of course, be another exotic, the Pale Heart Engram that is focusable. More vendor rep and experience. Then the third path, rewards through 1 and 3, is a Pale Heart Engram that is focusable, as well as that. And the completion rewards that are repeatable will give you just a random world energy, or legendary engram, vendor rep, and XP. However, there is lots of different objectives and everything. The calibrations will directly replace bounties, most common objective category on the Pale Heart Pathfinder. Which examples they give us is in the Pale Heart defeat combatants of a certain faction, or in the Pale Heart defeat combatants using weapon types that match your subclass. Field assignments, well, I guess will be a little bit more in-depth. Players must go to locations of the Pale Heart and complete a custom encounter that only appears when the objective is active. This is the second most common Pathfinder category on the Pale Heart Pathfinder. And the examples they give us is in the Pale Heart, travel to blank and claim a reward for defeating blank, and travel to blank and complete the blank event. I guess this is more like patrols, bounties, and public events. Then we have Ventures, which is destination-focused activities and objectives. Only 2 per the Pale Heart Pathfinder. Only appear in the tier before the final reward, so I guess it's the lastly. In the Pale Heart, progress through the blank activity and loot the chest. Completing the blank objective grants additional progress. So from there, they also give us more details about the Ritual Pathfinder. The first 3 completions will reward with Prime Engrams, Enhancement Prisms, Bright Dust, and XP. The next 7 will give a Prism of an Enhancement Prism, Bright Dust, and XP. And subsequent completions, which I'm guessing is bottoming out, is Enhancement Cores, Bright Dust, and XP. To give you ideas of how much you can hope to earn, even after diminishing returns. They're all also updating the Quest tab. Let's see. Basically, I guess it's just focusing some stuff from older expansions, in case you want to get an eye on that. And let's see, Quest tab, they anticipated ritual activities, also redesigned the private match screen for both Crucible and Gambit to allow for greater ease of use, so there you go. Once again, legendary shards are going to be deprecated coming into the final shape, so be sure to spend all the ones you want to make use of before the season ends. As well, final Pantheon bosses, Riven, and Nezarec, more lore tabs on them for you if you wish to read some stuff out and learn more of these old hated gods. Speaking of Pantheon, there is a poster that is pure Pantheon showing all of the 5 bosses: Golgoroth, Oryx, Caretaker, Atrax, Explorer of Planets, Rolk, Nezarec, and Riven. So if you wish to actually have this, Display will be selling the Pantheon poster in their store, including a format with the new 3D enhanced Textra finish. So this is going to be available for you to keep at home if you so wish. Then there is, of course, a Trevor compilation in case you wanted to see a bunch of people fail to survive the 0-hour cheese grater. But from there, there is also a collectible Steel Series thing if you wanted to collect some more in real life stuff. I might pick up the new headphones because my old ones that were the original Steel Series have cracked and they're still usable, but I can use them. And of course, the 24 hours before the final shape, there won't be any pre-gaming on Destiny itself because it will be brought offline for 24 hours just to make sure that everyone has access to the things. And of course, once you're able to log in is when it ends. Then for seasonal endings, of course, there is the pony error codes that have been going on. They did mention to disable friend invites and this sort of thing if you want to prevent pony issues while they're still working on the fixing the issue. A bunch of these seasonal rewards will, of course, all expire once the season ends if you just don't claim them, so be sure to go ahead and do that. And as well, the content vault is going to always update, so if you want to keep track of that, there is going to be a current article about what's everything going into the season. Think of it as most of the seasonal stuff and the few things that will be replaced with other stuff come final shape. For the known issues, capturing a zone in the collision PvP game mode while having full super will slightly reduce your energy, and tormentors can push turrets away in onslaught with slam or grab attacks. But from that point, a tomato tormentor, and I guess the man who managed to solo Pantheon all on his own. From that point, that is everything with this week of Destiny. It was short. I'm actually, as much as it did run me through the grindstone having to do the videos, I'm happy I didn't have to do a 40-minute This Week in Destiny with the armor tuning and abilities tuning. With that, I will see you all in the next video, when I'm hopefully not carrying the Plague of Nurgle.